Hanukkah Crash Course, Part 4 today. Today is Wednesday, December 9th. It is the day before Hanukkah, and we are continuing our crash course with regard to the proper observance of the holiday of Hanukkah. You would think that it's involving just merely lighting a candle, but it's really not that simple. It's like sending an email, where an email needs to be delivered from a verified address, sent to a verified address. It's got to be spelled properly. It's got to be sent in the right location. It's got to be sent in the right time. So too, a mitzvah isn't just a mere idiosyncratic tradition or a sentimental custom. A mitzvah draws down divine energy to this world. If we are to draw down the light, the illumination that is Hanukkah, the inspiration, the clarity that is Hanukkah, we need to do that by observing the laws of Hanukkah, which is the context in which we are commanded to observe the mitzvahs, as we say, Asher Kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, as he sanctified us in his commandments and has commanded us to kindle the Hanukkah lights. We got to do them in the proper form, in the proper manner, in the proper sequence, so that way we're able to draw down all the divine blessings upon us and the world, which so much needs this healing. Good morning, Marty and Rob. Nice to see you, as well as Elaine on YouTube. Everyone else who's with us live and later, please do like the video, share the video, so that we can spread the light of Hanukkah with as many of our fellow Jews as possible. Just to let you know before we start that we have published a beautiful Chanukah DIY booklet, just like we did for the high holidays, for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. We published a Chanukah Do-It-Yourself booklet, which covers everything that you need to know for Hanukkah. You can pick it up at Shul today after 12 o'clock. Please do swing by the Shul. We're actually preparing an entire Hanukkah kit, a Hanukkah takeaway bag, Hanukkah to go, which includes a menorah, candles, Hanukkah goodies, the Chanukah DIY booklet, everything that you need to know to spread the light. Now, since Hanukkah is about spreading the light, I spoke about this on Shabbos. It's not about just lighting up ourselves. If you want to warm yourself up, you can put on a coat. But if you put on light a fire, you're illuminating the environment. You're warming up the entire room, and that's what Hanukkah is about. It's about us sharing the light of and warmth of and inspiration of Yiddishkeit, of Torah, of godliness with all those around us. So we encourage you to drop by the shul today after 12 o'clock to pick up a Hanukkah bag, not only for yourself but for your friends and fellow Jews nearby you. We're asking all of our members to come by the shul today and tomorrow, starting from today after 12 o'clock and tomorrow, to pick up your Hanukkah goodie bags and pick up a few, not just one for yourself, but for other members of the shul that you know, as well as for friends of yours that are Jewish that would enjoy the inspiration and the opportunity to celebrate Hanukkah properly. Welcome to Terry from Atlanta. The golf outing was spectacular yesterday, thank God. We started off in 45-degree weather. I'm sorry that we weren't able to teach Torah yesterday morning. We were out in the golf course, and it needs water in order to grow. In order to be able to study Torah and teach Torah, we have to have our fundraisers, because it doesn't happen by itself. There's a body and a soul. There is the spirit, and then there is the finance. So we had to raise funds yesterday. Looks like we did pretty well, thank God, under the circumstances. Challenging circumstances, very difficult. But thank God we were able to pull off a beautiful event, and we're very grateful to Hashem. We're grateful to our leadership, grateful to our staff, and to all of our supporters and sponsors for making that a possibility. Thank God. The winner of the raffle, the 500 tickets of the raffle, the $10,000 cash prize, was Jessica Polercio of, I think she's in West Virginia, Ohio maybe, married to Justin Polercio. They were the winners of the $10,000 cash prize. Thank you to everybody who participated in this very important fundraiser. So there's your answer, Rob. Who won the raffle? Dean Dubansky, Boker Tov, Miriam from New York, and shalom to everybody. So let's get straight into this. I spoke about the Hanukkah goodie bags. One more thing I want to mention to you is that we are not taking any excuses when it comes to lighting up the city of Palm Beach Gardens this Hanukkah. Yes, we're socially distant, and yes, we have our challenges and our problems. However, the mitzvah of Hanukkah is to spread the light, Pirsumei Nisa, to advertise the miracle. That is a very important component of the mitzvah of Hanukkah, and therefore, we are taking to the streets tomorrow night in a socially distanced Hanukkah celebration. All we're asking you to do is to come to the Chabad at 5 o'clock with your car. If you want a menorah on your car, we'll put a menorah. Our team will put a menorah on your car. If not, we won't put a menorah on your car, but we'll get into the Carminator parade. And we will light up the streets of Palm Beach Gardens with the light of Hanukkah. It's going to be covered by television news, God willing. And also, we'll be lighting up the skies of Palm Beach Gardens with a magnificent fireworks show afterwards, together with the kindling of the giant menorah. All that is able to be viewed from your car, so you don't have to leave your car. This is socially distanced, guys. You get no excuse. And we'll be lighting up the streets and the skies of Palm Beach Gardens. If for whatever reason you are not able to attend, you can literally look out your window at about 6 p.m., look out the sky and see the lights of the menorah fireworks that will be going on from the Chabad of Palm Beach Gardens. Please do join us. These are difficult times, friends. These are challenging times to be able to bring the light and the love and the warmth of Yiddishkeit to our fellow human beings. Hanukkah is about hope in the face of despair. Hanukkah is when the majority of the Jewish people were assimilated into Greek culture. And yet a small band of people were able to defy the odds and allow truth, honor, and dignity to prevail. This is the message, one of the messages of Hanukkah. Help us bring that light. Thank you, Rob. I'm glad that you're able to join us. Please let us know if you can come by just registering for the Hanukkah Carminator Parade at jewishgardens.com/light. That's jewishgardens.com/light. I want you to think of this, what's going to happen when you come to the Carminator Parade and you take a selfie with yourself, your husband, your wife, and the menorah on top of your car. Send that selfie to your children and your grandchildren. And I want you to think about the kind of Jewish pride that you will be giving your grandchildren when they see, that's my Bubby and Zaini. They put a menorah on top of their car. They are so cool. I'm so proud to be Jewish. That is what this is about. It's about chinuch, which means education. Hanukkah means education. It's about inspiration. Join the Carminator Parade. Please don't miss this opportunity. It's extraordinary, and it's going to be a beautiful Hanukkah. All right, let's do this. On the theme of Persumei Nisa. So again, please register to the Hanukkah Carminator Parade. It's no charge. jewishgardens.com/light. That's jewishgardens.com/light to let us know that you're coming. Good. The laws of Hanukkah candles, Hanukkah crash course, part 4. You can hear the first 3 parts at youtube.com/Jewish Gardens. That's youtube.com/Jewish Gardens. Apparently, our this course, the Hanukkah crash course, was actually featured on Channel 25 News over the weekend. So this is good. We're going places. Baruch Hashem. We're spreading the light. Good morning, Bob. Thank you for your support yesterday at the golf event, even though you were not able to be there in person. We really appreciate your sending your team, and we thank you for that. The candle lighting of Hanukkah takes place not only in our homes, but also in our shuls. Let's talk about the public menorah lightings. We light a Hanukkah candles in the shul because of the mitzvah of Persumei Nisa. Because of the mitzvah of advertising the miracle. So it's not enough to light a candle inside of your home. You got to go out and light it in the public places where people are gathered. Remember, the word for shul in Hebrew is a Beit Knesset, which means a house of gathering where the people are together. It's really important that you take your Hanukkah candles at home and you post them to social media. You take your car menorah and you post it to social media. That is the fulfillment of the mitzvah of Persumei Nisa, of advertising the miracle. We're going to do that down the streets of Palm Beach Gardens to be able to get it on the television news, to spread it to scores of thousands, tens of thousands of Jews that are going to be able to experience the Jewish pride. Can you imagine the sense of Jewish pride? Somebody who's, I don't know, maybe contemplating assimilation, somebody who sees no connection to Judaism, and there they are, and they see 50 Hanukkah car menorahs down the street, and they see it on television. Wouldn't that be an amazing and awesome experience for them to give them a sense of Jewish pride? To help us make that happen, we can't do it without you. You're supposed to light the Hanukkah candles inside of the shul on the southern wall and set them up on the wall, along the wall between east and west. Just like the candles in the Holy Temple in Jerusalem was situated in the southern wall between east and west. And it's customary to make sure that they are higher than 10 hand breadths from the ground, because then it would be too low otherwise. Don't put them on the floor. Got to be at least 10 handbreadths above the ground. We light the candles in the shul between davening mincha, the afternoon service, and Ma'ariv, the evening service, while it is still day. Remember, we don't light the candles before sunset. You can light the candles from Plaga Mincha. We spoke about this in the last class, but you don't light it too early. You can't light it before Plaga Mincha. So a great time to light the Hanukkah candles is after Mincha and before Ma'ariv, which is that twilight zone. And we make the blessings in them, and it's good that there should be 10 people in the shul at the time that you make the blessings. Okay. In the shul of the Rebbe, they would light the candles before saying Aleinu, before the final paragraph of the Mincha afternoon service. And after lighting the candles, the congregation would sing together the song of Haneyero, yes, Alolu. These candles that we light are holy. There's the beautiful paragraph which appears in the prayer book right after the Chanukah blessings, and you'll find that in the Chanukah DIY booklet that we have ready for you in the shul. Please pick it up today after 12 o'clock when the packages hopefully will be ready. A person does not fulfill his obligation by lighting the candles in the shul alone. You still need to light them at home. So there's the element of the mitzvah, which is Pirsumei Nisa, advertising the miracle, promotion. That component of the mitzvah you fulfill when you light it publicly. However, the mitzvah of the kindling of the candles, that you've got to do at home. Even the chazan, even the one who's reciting the blessings, needs to go back home and to light them at his house again. However, when the chazan, the person that said the blessings already at shul, goes back home to light the candles at home, he says the first blessing and the second blessing, but not the third blessing, not the Shehechiyanu blessing. He says the blessing to kindle the lights, the blessing to recall the miracles then and now, but the third blessing of Shehechiyanu he does not say unless when he goes back home he has the intention of fulfilling the obligation for his wife and children and missed it earlier. So only if there are people at the house that didn't hear the candle blessings at the public place, then he says the Shehechiyanu blessing at home. However, if all the people that are now at home were also present at the public lighting, they now should only say the first two blessings at home and not the third, the Shehechiyanu blessings. It's customary to light the candles in shul, not only in the evening, but even in the morning services. Even when you come to shul for shachris, for tefillin in the morning, we daven every day at 7:30 here at Chabad Palm Beach Gardens with masks and social distancing. So even when you come for morning services, you should still kindle the lights of the menorah. So for example, on Friday morning this week is going to be the first morning of Hanukkah, because Thursday night's the first night, which means Friday is the first day, until Friday night, which would be the second day. Obviously, we don't light the candles on Saturday morning because it's Shabbos, but on Sunday morning would be the third morning. So Sunday morning would be 3 candles, Friday morning would be 1 candle. When you light the candles in the morning, you don't make a blessing. You light the candles corresponding to the day of Hanukkah, plus the shamas, but you don't make a blessing. Now, in addition to the candles that we spoke about, good morning cookie, in addition to the candle lighting blessing, backtrack, delete. In addition to the laws of the candles, and what we learned today was the novelty of Pirsumei Nisa, the advertising of the miracle. There is also certain prayers that are added on Hanukkah. We're going to talk about them in a moment. But with regards to the candles, with regards to the Pirsumei Nisa, just a closing thought, we're going to remember the essence of the Hanukkah story. You know, the essence of the Pesach story is the Egyptians who believed in nature and refused to believe in the supernatural, which is why the celebration of Pesach is all about the supernatural. It's about the 10 miraculous plagues. It's the miracle of the splitting open of the Red Sea. It's the miraculous protection that God provided for us, shattering the laws of nature. So the messaging of Pesach is about God's ability to break through the laws of nature that he himself created. Hanukkah is a totally different concept. The Greeks were different to the Egyptians. The Greeks deified logic. Whereas the Egyptians were all about nature, the Greeks were obsessed with wisdom. Aristotle, Plato, Socrates, and all the other Greek philosophers, they were thinkers and they worshiped the human mind. They believed that there is nothing above the human mind. And therefore they rejected the belief in a power that we cannot study inside of a laboratory. They believed in science, they believed in culture, they believed in architecture, in art, and in music, and all beautiful things that we can relate to. But that which is out of our reach, that which requires faith, that which we cannot grasp, and we have to only accept, that is what the Greeks refused. So they actually made gymnasiums where they forced people, or they had people wrestle, gladiators wrestling naked to celebrate the glory of the human body, empirical, that which you can see and sense and touch and feel and smell. It was all about what is sensory, what we're able to relate to and fathom in the highest of human capacity, which is intellect. But when it came to faith, they had total rejection, an outright rejection of faith, which is why we're about to say, and we'll see in the prayer now, that when we acknowledge the miracle of Hanukkah, we say that the Greeks wanted to make us forget your Torah and neglect your mitzvahs. They didn't have a problem with us studying Torah as a book of wisdom. They didn't have a problem with us observing mitzvahs as customs of our heritage. But what the problem was, they wanted to remove God from Torah. They wanted to remove God from the mitzvahs. They wanted to separate holiness from culture. They wanted to turn Judaism into a culture and not a religion. And that's why the way we celebrate that is by saying, yes, we can. By coming out with a banner and saying, going out in public and saying that, the call of the Maccabees. The call of the Maccabees. You know, the Maccabees were the army that fought against the Greeks. The word Maccabee is an acronym for Mi kamocha ba'ilim Hashem, who is like you in the heavens, O God. It was a fearless and proud acknowledgement of God. Maccabee means who there is none like you in the heavens, O God, which means no one is as powerful as God. Maccabee means God is almighty. God is almighty. That is the meaning of the word Maccabee. It is a proud declaration of faith. So when we go out and we light the candles, remember, candles are the perfect representation of this idea, because everything else in the world goes down. Fire goes up. It's hard to explain that. It's a phenomenon. It's a phenomenon that fire goes up. It's drawn upwards. And that is a manifestation of our souls being drawn up to that which is above us. And that's also the concept of the yarmulke. The yarmulke that sits on top of our brain. The brain is logic. The yarmulke is super rational. Faith, which is higher than understanding. The yarmulke recognizes or acknowledges the fact that our wisdom has limitations. We're limited in what we can understand. And where our understanding ends, that's where faith begins. And when we go out publicly and we celebrate our faith, we're combating the populist message of the Greeks, of the Hellenists. And remember, most of the Jewish people had assimilated during the Hanukkah story. And it was a small band of loyalists that were able to overturn that awful assimilationist era of the Jewish history. And therefore, we've got to do the same thing today. We've got to go out and say, yes, we can be traditional. We can be both modern and orthodox. We can be modern and traditional. We don't need to cut corners. We don't need to be like the Goyim in order to be accepted by the Goyim. Oil is a liquid that goes into every nook and cranny, yet it always remains separate. It always rises to the top. Oil never loses its own identity. And that's why oil is the perfect manifestation of the anti-assimilationist message, which is the Maccabee message. We can be integrated into society, but we never lose our own identity as Jews. We are proud and we do not assimilate. We do not believe in a melting pot. We can be proud American citizens, but at the same time, we're also proud Jews, and there is no conflict. Because America respects people who respect themselves and doesn't respect people that don't respect themselves. Good morning, Ed. Okay, so that's why it's so important to advertise the miracle publicly. Let's talk about the blessings, the prayers of Hanukkah. Here they are. The prayers of Hanukkah go as follows. During the 8 days of Hanukkah, we say a special prayer called Ve'al Nisim and upon the miracles. Hey, Dan, good morning. Nice to see you. It's an acknowledgement of the miracles of Hanukkah. We recite it 3 times a day during our morning, afternoon, and evening prayers. During the silent Amidah, the Shemona Esrei, you'll find that in the Siddur, right after the Modim, when we bow towards the end of the silent Amidah, you'll notice there's a gray box that we add in for Hanukkah. And we also say it during the grace after meals. near the beginning. If you forgot to say the paragraph of Al Anisim during prayer because you weren't focused, you weren't concentrated, you were dreaming about something, and therefore you just did your routine, which is to skip that paragraph, and you weren't focused, what happens? If you remembered before you said the name of God in the next blessing, then you just jump back and you start the blessing of Al Anisim. However, if you remembered only after you said already the name of God, you cannot say the name of God in vain. You keep on going and you don't go back. Hi, Corey. Good morning. You do not skip over the Ve'al Anisim, over the Chanukah prayer during the silent Amidah in order to race to the finish, so that in order that you'll be able to catch up to the minyan and answer Amen or Kedusha with the congregation. Even though Ve'al Anisim, the Chanukah prayer, is technically not... it's technically optional because if you miss it, you don't have to say it again. Nevertheless, you can't skip it deliberately in order to catch up to the minyan. You have to say it. If you forgot to say the Hanukkah blessing of Al Anisim during the grace after meals, and you remembered before you said the name of Hashem in the next blessing, then you jump back and you say the Hanukkah blessing. But if you remembered after saying the name of God in the grace after meals, then there is a slightly different route you take. What you do is that there's a special shortened version of the Chanukah blessing, which you make, and it actually appears in the Sitter. It goes like this: May the merciful one make for us miracles like it did for our forefathers in those days and in these days, in the days of Matisyahu, ... You continue the blessings. That's actually printed in the Sitter, what to do if you miss the Chanukah blessing during the grace after meals. If you said the Chanukah paragraph during the Shabbos of Chanukah in the grace after meals, but you forgot to say the paragraph that we add for Shabbos, the paragraph called Ritzay. So you remember to add the Chanukah. It's Shabbos of Chanukah, right? Chanukah's 8 days. There's always a Shabbos of Chanukah. So if you added the paragraph to add for Chanukah, but you forgot to add the paragraph called Ritzay, the paragraph of Shabbos, then you need to go back and say the grace after meals again, because you can't skip over the Shabbos paragraph. But if you miss the Chanukah paragraph, you don't go back for the Chanukah paragraph alone. Just an interesting law, okay? So obviously the Chanukah prayer is not as important as the Shabbos prayer. Shabbos is like the most important Jewish holiday of all time. Maybe Yom Kippur is just one up from that. But Shabbos is, even though it's frequent, it doesn't make it any less important. Good morning, Rob Sanders. Good morning, Adrian. Thank you for joining us here this morning. It's funny that more people listen on Facebook than on YouTube. It's just interesting observation here. Okay. All the days of Hanukkah, we say the full Hallel, the full songs of praise, which appear in the back of the prayer book on page 307. These are songs of praise and gratitude, which actually refer to the Exodus from Egypt. It's songs that King David wrote, referring to the gratitude of the Exodus from Egypt. Moses wrote some of them. And we recite those songs of praise, the Hallel, during every day of Hanukkah after the silent Amidah. During Hanukkah, we don't say Tachnun, which is prayers of supplication, because it's days of celebration. And therefore, even the mincha of tomorrow, even afternoon prayer tomorrow, which is the eve, which is not even sundown before Hanukkah, we already don't say Tachnun. So the last time we say Tachnun and supplication is tomorrow morning in the services. On the Shabbos of Hanukkah, we also don't say any prayer that are related to supplication. Now, it's interesting. I want to let you know, guys, that if you want, very, very convenient to buy an app on your phone called the Sitter app. I'll show it here. It is just like we have a Blue Sitter Shul. They have a very convenient app. I think I'll try to show it to you on the screen. Oops. There it is. The Sitter app. It's called Annotated Sitter. You can find it in the App Store. Kehot Sitter. K-E-H-O-T. K-E-H-O-T. I think it costs $2 or $3, maybe $4. A one-time charge. And you can buy the Sitter in Hebrew and in English. Kehot. K-E-H-O-T. Sorry. K-E-H-O-T. Kehot. Annotated Siddur. And if you buy it in the App Store, then it shows you every day. It's very cool. It changes every day according to what the prayers of this service is now. It knows your time zone, and it tells you based upon where you are right now. It's either day or night or whatever. And therefore it's morning, afternoon, or evening services. And it shows the service right now is this. And you can actually pray that way. It's beautiful. Okay. And with that, friends, I think I'm going to call it a day here. I'm going to wish you a wonderful day. Tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, we'll have our final session of the crash course of Hanukkah. We'll finish it then. part 5 of the Hanukkah crash course tomorrow morning at 7:30. Today is Wednesday. I don't think there's any other class today that I'm aware of. But I will say that again, please do swing by the show today after 12 o'clock to pick up your Hanukkah packages, to spread the light for yourself and for your friends and other members of the show that live nearby you, that you can reach. Obviously, not everybody's able to get out these days, and we want to make sure that we got everybody covered. We got to make sure we got North Palm Beach County covered, and we need your help to make that happen. And also, please do register for the Hanukkah Carminator Parade tomorrow night, 5 o'clock, starting from Chabad Palm Beach Gardens. We'll take about 90 minutes for the whole event until we finish the parade, coming back, lighting the menorah, and the giant menorah outside, and fireworks show, all for the safety of your car. So that happens tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Please register at jewishgardens.com/light. That's jewishgardens.com/light to let us know that you're coming. Also, as Rob is pointing out, tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. we'll be having an outdoor minyan tomorrow morning in the great tent here at the Chabad Palm Beach Gardens. Please do join us. It's outdoors, and we'd love to have you join us because we're trying to rebuild the community from the challenges of this pandemic. We'd really appreciate it if you could join us. Thank you very much, everybody. Shalom, and have a wonderful day.